session with me. This is gonna be based on JavaScript for Kids for Dummies, Chapter 1, Part 2. And this is gonna be based on topic to follow up, right, on Part 1. JavaScript and CSS, we've all got our own individual style. One person might sport a tuxedo, another might feel most at home in white jeans and a white shirt. Styles come and go, and what looked great today might look silly tomorrow. Changing clothes at our personal style gives us the freedom to change the way you look. Things that make themselves, however, don't change when they change clothes. In the same way, it's possible to change the way a web page looks without changing the content and structure of that page. This language used to change a web page style is called Cascading Style Sheets CSS. Right, so obviously we're going to learn about that. So CSS dresses up your web page by adding colors, borders, backgrounds, and varying sizes to elements. CSS can change where elements are positioned on the screen, and it can even control special effects such as animations. So as you can see with this robot, right, I love JS, yeah. Right, so as you can see this animation consists of many elements that make up a CSS style sheet, right? So basically, this is my trusty friend Douglas, the JavaScript robot. So in this project, right? So in this chapter, you'll learn how to modify and add styles to an HTML robot named Douglas. We just got Douglas delivered from the robot factory this morning. Psych, right? His JavaScripts are absolutely outstanding. Very outstanding skills he has. He doesn't even need much maintenance. Just a new variable to play with every now and then, and he tells good jokes. One problem is he looks a bit boring. Sure, he's got nice blue eyes, and I love JavaScript t-shirts, pretty cool, but he just doesn't look like the fun and goofy robot that we know Douglas to be. Right, so in order to make him look very unique, we just need to set up our unique style of his own for him. To get started, you have to open a web browser and log into the public dashboard at HTTP. Right, so you'll need to do this, right? So scrap this, right? All you need to do is go into VS Studios, right? So just go into VS Studios, create a new folder called chapter 6, right? Within that new folder, create a new file called robots.html and mystyle.css, right? But for now, let's focus on creating a file called robot.html, right? Okay. No, hold on. No. For now, yeah. So take a look at the first 3 lines in the JavaScript robot CSS pane. Body, fonts, family, Arial, right? So you look at those. These 2 components form a CSS rule. CSS rule consists, right, of 2 main components. Selected, this indicates what elements the CSS rule applies to. In declaration block, the declaration block contains one or more CSS declarations, indicating how right to style selected element or an element, right? For example, if just have one declaration, font family Arial, right? So the selectors is the part of the CSS rule that comes before the curly font, the curly parentheses, right? So this tells the web browser what HTML elements the style should apply to. Select an element to apply style to, right? Then apply that same style to every element inside the selected element, right? Element selectors, right? So it looks like this. So this is what you're gonna do into my style .css, not HTML, my style.css, right? That's what you gotta do. You gotta add these. Right? These are examples of element selectors. Element selectors select HTML elements using the name of elements, right? So these make use of tags. This is using HTML document, right? So you got this. This is gonna set up the eye of the robot. The ID selectors start with the hash symbol and select elements based on the value of the element's ID attributes. Now, because left and right, I have separate ID attributes, right? So these are the identification. This is like the identification tag, right? These are the identification tags. So the right eye and then the left eye, right? So basically, these are the identification tags. They're set up where they need to be. The CSS declarations property. The property part of declaration tells what should be modified. For example, you can change the color, width, and position of the element. Then value tells how the property should be changed. Each declaration must end with a semicolon. You can have as many declarations within the declaration box as you need to get the job done. The declaration block for the elements of the I class, for example, contains 4 declarations. So these each are declarations: background color, width, height, and border radius. So as you can see, for example, background color blue, width 20%, height 20%, border radius 30%. Right? Then it gives style as well, CSS. Right? The characteristics of elements. Darkness and the JavaScript robot, beautiful eye color, the size of the body and arms, the roundness of the corners of his head, and the position of his different parts are all determined by the values of the properties, right? So I've changed his look, find CSS row for the P element. It's currently the second row in the CSS pane. Change the value of the font size property, 5 pm. Then it should look like this, right? Then change the value of the body element, right? Paying attention to the use of quotes, right? We're gonna do this. Complete CSS row should now look like this, right? Then click the run button to see the results. This obviously can be doubtless, so looking like this, right? Right, okay. So obviously you want to see what you want to see. You want to see what you want to see, and that's results, right? That's results. You want to see the results. Well, I got a treat for you. I'll show it to you now. VS Studio, right? VS Studio Chapter 6, right? My style. But as you can see in my style, you can see like the font family area. You can see the background color. Obviously, I made so the eye might be green, right? Because it was made this way. So as you can see the properties, right? You can see them. You can see the properties, right? So you can actually see the selectors that I have here. Selectors, 4 of them. Then on the side, on here, you can see the tag, the body, right? The font family, right? You can see all of that in my style CSS. Obviously, I've got my HTML, so exclamation mark, enter, right? Then it's gonna run the HTML, gonna run the tags. Within the body, let's the identification robot, right? So obviously, these are the obviously gonna divide them, right? This so div, right? So basically the div elements, attributes, markup, semantics come to a group of consecutive elements. So right, so these indicate that these different parts, right, are basically on sync with one another. Right, so the identification, like robot head. So like before the identification part, like basically is the identifier, right? It's basically the identifier, right, that you'll see in the web browser. Within the body, it's gonna be the identifications. Opening tag, closing tag, right? So you go into your web browser, come on, click. Okay, go. And voila, there's results. Sorry it took a bit long, right? So here's the results. So this, right, it's gonna give you that. That's what's gonna give you. That's what's gonna give you. Yeah. I thank you very much, right, for undivided time, right? And that's how you create a robot.